Good morning and welcome to Coffee with Kristin and Tina. I'm Tina Prigge of Vagabond Creative Studio, joined by Kristin Odell of Grow with KLO. Good morning, Kristin. How's it going?
It is going. How are you today?
So good. I must have been on St. Nick's nice list. Look at what was in my stocking.
Oh, it's so cute. I also grabbed a slightly festive cup today. It's a red cup.
Hey, look at that. We match.
No, we do match. Cheers.
Cheers.
I do have a couple of Christmas mugs here, but I will get them out as we get a little bit closer. So good girl. I'm so glad you were on St. Nick's good list.
Thank you. Thank you. Somebody must not be telling me all my deeds, but no, I'm kidding. But you know what, Kristin, look at these are tiny little cats. And I thought this would also be perfect for a sweet, snuggly topic we wanted to talk about today.
Hey.
Our lovely pets.
I know. Everybody loves pets. And anytime I post a picture of my pet on my business page, it always gets the most comments and the most views. And I can never understand, you guys, I work really hard running my business, and the thing you love the most is my dogs.
Oh, yes, but let's show them why. Look at how cute these dogs are. By the way, good morning, Mary.
Good morning, Mary. Yeah, this is our pups. So they're both Labradoodles, although they look really different. So Millie is on the right in her adorable buffalo plaid holiday festive scarf. And then Reggie is on the left, and his little scarf there is green and red, and I think it has little trees in the middle. So they were freshly groomed this week, and I just thought they were so stinking cute. I had to get a picture of them.
They are super cute. Kristin, they're small. Is this their full size, or are they still just puppies?
Nope, this is their full size. So they're medium Labradoodles. So they're both right around 40 pounds. And actually, even though Millie looks a little bit smaller than Reggie, Millie is heavier. So her mom was a full-size chocolate lab, and her chest is really barrelly like a regular lab. And so she's actually heavier than he is just because of that. Reggie is all poodle, and he's prancy and cute. And so we always call Reggie the Lorax at our house because of his epic mustache.
I was just going to say, I love his little beard ensemble there. That is awesome.
Yeah.
So is this Millie then that's in the Christmas spirit here? Hanging
That's
out
actually Reggie. So this is the night we finished our Christmas tree. He, as you can see, is a diva because he's laying on our pillows on our couch. So just take that all in. But yeah, he's laying right next to the warm glow of the Christmas tree, and it was so adorable. I just had to take a picture of him.
That is awesome. You know, viewers, I'd love to know, are your pets into the holidays? Do they get excited? You know, for the longest time, we had cats, and so we never had a real Christmas tree because all of the ornaments were glass, and it was just too much of a, I thought it was too much of a tease to have all of these dangly bits and then having to keep telling them, no.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd love to know, viewers, how do your pets deal with the holidays? Do they love it? Do they hate it? Mary says they have 2 cats and a bunny. Oh, we would love to see pictures too.
I know. We talked a lot about pictures this week. When I share this, I think you'll be able to comment on mine. So if you follow my business page or my personal page, you can share your pictures there once I share the episode today. But yeah, I've seen pictures. So some friends of ours, the Bakemans, they live up in Door County. Their cat curled up in a little ball underneath the tree and loves the warmth of the Christmas tree skirt underneath the tree. So there is some cat and tree friendly arrangements, it appears.
I remember a friend had a dog, a rather large sized dog, and he would always lap up the water from the real Christmas tree that they had from the basin. So he was constantly having to put water in there because the dog was always drinking it.
Yeah, interestingly enough, I don't feel like it's ever been a big deal for the dogs. We have a different Christmas tree skirt this year, and I did notice they've been laying on it like a blanket on the floor. But other than that, they just have never messed with it. It's never been a big deal.
Do you put up stockings for the dogs?
We do not put up stockings for the dogs, but the dogs do get treats from St. Nick usually, or Santa Claus.
Did they get treats this week when St. Nick came?
They didn't because they got groomed this week, and that is treat enough.
Oh, they like it.
Yes, they do. They got their nails done and their ears cleaned, and they all got shampooed and brushed for the hula days.
Aw, the hula days.
Yeah.
Yeah, when we had a cat, he was pretty much oblivious to any of that going on, but we would always hang up a little stocking and he'd always get some little extra treats.
Yeah.
I think Teak in particular liked that, liked including him as part of the family. So
Right. The kids did pick out some treats and some new toys for the pups for Christmas. So they're hidden away and they've been begging, like, please, can we get them out? Please, can we get them out? And I'm like, it's not Christmas yet. You have to wait. So they'll be excited to do that.
Oh, so Mary says her pets do. They get excited when stuff is in their stockings, and one of their cats likes to drink the water.
Uh-huh. My mom and dad had a cat growing up, and this is maybe not necessarily attributed to the Christmas tree, but the cat would get up every morning. My mom had to go in, she was a CNA, and get ready for work. And the cat would always come in, and my mom would turn a slow run on the bathroom faucet, and the cat would sit on the edge of the sink and drink water while my mom was getting ready for work.
My dad used to do that for the cat we had growing up. And the cat, yeah, he would just like drink it. He would like put his paw under the water and kind of put it on his like snout and stuff.
Yes. Yeah. Every morning the cat got up with my mom and saw her off for the day.
Aww.
So, which is funny because sometimes pets are really just silly and cute and you just can't even handle it. Like that picture of Reggie laying on the couch. I'm like, you are such a goof. But, oh, Patty, Chester didn't get anything from Saint Nick.
Oh, no. Was he on the naughty list?
Yeah. Did he, maybe Santa will make a redemption at the Roth house.
Maybe he just didn't look hard enough. I know when I was in kindergarten, I think our household wasn't aware of Saint Nick. I was the oldest child. And when I came home from kindergarten that day, I was like, Mom, all the kids at school were visited by Saint Nick. And, so she had this panic moment and, hustled around. And then she's like, are you sure you looked everywhere? And so then I looked and sure enough, behind the piano was something, right, that she had just quickly stuffed there. But I didn't know that, because she was so clever. So maybe Chester just hasn't looked hard enough yet.
Oh, there you go. That's a good tip. I really love the magic of it. Yes, it does require effort and work, but I think it's so sweet, how excited the kiddos get and just, the magic of that morning. I was still sleeping on that morning. Doug's an early riser and they were like, Mom, you got to get up. You got to come here and see. And, we got a sprinkle of snow from Saturday night to Sunday, which it feels like we were in a snow bubble because everybody else around town said we didn't get snow. So I'm still trying to figure that out. But our front lawn was covered with snow on that morning. And so they're like, Broccoli the elf is back. The stockings are full. We got snow. It was such an exciting morning for them. So
yeah, I love it. I think it's the perfect bookend to really start the holiday season and then concludes with Christmas and New Year's. It really just gives it a nice arc.
Right. So, so you mentioned you didn't celebrate the tradition of Saint Nick when you were a kid. So because this is a German holiday and a German tradition. So are you not of German descent or Eastern descent, European descent?
No, I am. And once I started kindergarten and my parents realized, oh yeah, this is a thing, it was always a thing and it's still a thing. I just think that, I was the first kid. I think it just wasn't even on their radar,
Sure.
Not that they didn't mean to, or maybe not that they didn't grow up with it. I think they did. I think they got the traditional oranges and nuts.
Mm-hmm.
I just think it wasn't on their radar. They completely spaced it out or forgot.
Right. That's so cute. I know we have people from different areas. And when Doug and I met, this was always a question because Doug's from Ohio. So I'm like, wait a second. Is this something that you celebrate? Are you familiar with this tradition? Because my family certainly was. And they did do it, oddly enough. So maybe they live in a place where there was a lot of European settlers. And so, yeah, I know it's fun to talk through families and figure out how they all the different traditions that they do, because everybody is a little bit different. And I love that.
Well, and you mentioned that your elf has now shown up. It is the perfect way to introduce the elf on the shelf during the holiday season. So has he been up to some shenanigans already?
So he's only been here for 2 days because our elf hitches a ride with St. Nicholas. So he just showed up and the first couple of days he just kind of hung out. Today he was masked in our kitchen and was making a little play on the ongoing quarantine in our house. And he made the girls a heart-shaped from Hershey Kisses on the counter. So they thought that was so silly and cute. And they're like, where did he get that mask from? And yeah.
So did that like really start their day off? Like every morning, do they wake up and like kind of rush to find out where he is and what he got up to?
Yep. Yeah. I would say our elf is not as mischievous, but he does take a new location up each night. And sometimes there's messages like yesterday he was overseeing our playroom, which is our schoolroom. So there was a note on the chalkboard that he would be watching all day. So yeah, it's just creates a little bit of magic in the morning. And the girls had to create a pact that they can't, if you found the elf, if you found Broccoli, that's his name, Broccoli. If you find Broccoli, you cannot disclose the location of Broccoli. The other girls have a right to find him without being told where he is because they were getting mad.
Aw, right?
So, it only took 3 days for them to be fighting about it, but
Mary, you have to let us know, does Elf on a Shelf visit your house? Kristin's elf is named Broccoli. Does yours have a name if he visits?
Yeah. If you have the Elf on the Shelf book, there is a place to name your elf in the front of it. Now, the elf that arrived at our house does not look like the Elf on the Shelf that comes with the book. So we were gifted or arrived with a different looking elf. So again, different things happen at different houses.
That is awesome. Awesome. Well, let's see. What else have we got going on? Oh, this is a picture. This is the same cat. I love how scrumptious he is. He could just get comfortable anywhere. His name was Smokey. We had him for a number of years, 9 years or so. He was a shelter cat. We got him at the shelter when he was 3 years old. Apparently, he had been returned. So somebody had got him from the shelter, an older lady, and he was such a lover. He was like always by you, right? He always wanted to like snuggle up or be by your feet, but it was too much for her. Like apparently she was afraid she was going to trip. So she brought him back to the shelter. So 3 years he was at the shelter. So we got him and he like never, I've had cats before where they always want to go outside. Anytime the door opens, they're trying to dash out. This guy, Smokey, he was just so cool. Never tried to go out. He was like, never paid any attention to the doors. But 2 years ago, on April Fool's Day, I burned something in the kitchen at like 8 p.m., right? And so I flung open the doors and all the windows and I was rushing around, so for about 10 minutes, there was this like pandemonium while I dealt with the mess I was making, then shut everything down. Then I went to bed. And then in the morning I woke up, I'm like, wait a second. I don't think Smokey like joined me in bed last night. What the heck? So I ran downstairs to make sure he wasn't like trying to get in the house because he never goes outside. And I never saw him again. The neighbors never saw him. Like he wasn't, flattened anyway. Like there was just no sign of him. It was like April Fool's Day. He decided to choose his own destiny and vanished.
He was off. How did you pick his name?
He came with that name.
He came with the name.
Yeah. And we thought, so he's 3, maybe we should just keep it. And, and then we found in our basement, there's a well house. Our house is almost 100 years old. And if you open the door to the well house, it's this tiny little like cobwebby, place. But we opened it and in the cement, it says Smokey 1950. So in 1950, there was, I think it looks like maybe a dog paw next to it. So there was another Smokey. No. It's a sign. We're going to keep that name.
Wait, is the dog buried in your basement in the well room?
Oh God, I never thought of that, Kristin. I don't know. I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no.
What a mysterious place to have a random dog paw. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Well, probably they poured fresh cement and, like you always want to, memorialize or commemorate fresh cement with some kind of, I know there's a previous family, you can see their kids' handprints and footprints in the cement in the driveway. It's in one of the closets, there's like markings from kids as they grew that aren't our kids.
I love that. We did the same when we had concrete poured this summer. The girls all put their handprints in. So it's cute.
Yeah.
Becky, good morning. Your dog is afraid of the tree. Okay, you have to tell us more. Does the dog like bark at the tree or does it just stay away from the tree? I'm curious about that.
Right. Are the lights sparkling or moving? Is it like an aluminum tree so it glints in some way that spooks him? Yeah, tell us more.
So Tina, yeah, Patty has a love-hate relationship with the elf. I agree with you about that. There's like a certain amount of excitement and then a certain amount of like this requires a lot of extra thought and work at times.
It's like having a whole nother child and or another job.
Yes. Yes. Or like early morning whispers from your husband. Right.
Oh, Jeff Test says there's now male and female elves. Very nice.
Jeff, do you have one or the other at your house? Just curious.
And or do they join you on your rounds as you're out and about?
Yeah. So it's our tradition that our elf hitches a ride with Santa on Christmas Eve and heads home. So just FYI, Santa Claus, he's going to be looking for a ride. Okay, go back to the comment. Sorry. Oh, he stays away. Yeah. Okay, so if we nudge the nose and touch the needles of the tree, then it's not so much fun, and then they move away from it. Very interesting.
Yeah. And if it was a real tree, maybe a little bit of that pine scent stayed on his snout or something. I could see
Right.
that like, where's that coming from?
Right. So Tina, at what point in your house do you shift from, she's a good elf, Jeff, you got the best elf. Oh, well played, sir. Well played. Do you at some point transition from like the magic of the holidays to start talking about either personal or professional goals for next year?
I guess we're always kind of talking about things like that. There's not like a specific time that's memorialized. It's interesting because right after Christmas, Jason's birthday is January 1st, so he's a New Year's baby. Yeah. So not only do we start thinking about the new year, but celebrating him. And so it really does make us step away from Christmas sooner than later. You know, our tree doesn't stay up into January or anything like that.
Sure.
What about you?
Yeah, I think we've started. So normally, like my normal tradition for the business is Doug and I normally go away in fall and do brainstorming and future planning. Like we review the year before and then start thinking about the year ahead. And this year, I feel like it's been so day to day and month to month that we haven't done that as much. It's been a little bit different. So this last weekend, actually, we had kind of a conversation about, well, what do we want our personal goals to be? Because we always kind of set family goals as well. And what we want to accomplish together. And so we started talking about that this weekend a little bit and just kind of throwing ideas out there. So it's kind of fun to think about, you know, what can come, what is going to come in this new year after the year of what we've had.
Yeah. And this year, nobody could have predicted. I mean, like every goal, it seems, was off the table because this year was off the charts. It didn't, you know, align with anything that any person could have ever predicted for this year.
Right. Yeah. Teresa says, I love the idea of goal setting for the next year. And Alex and I are going to do that this next Saturday. Awesome. Way to go, Teresa.
That is a great.
It's important. So like, as much as, you know, Doug obviously has goals at work for him, and I've always had business goals, but I personally feel like it's always important to have goals around your household and your family, right? Because at the end of it, that's the center and that's the epicenter of everything that happens. And if I want to be successful in business, or if I want Doug to have success at work, we've got to be unified at home and be working towards the same things at home. So it's just such a fun way to kind of kick the year off, and it gives some excitement about it. And you know, this year for the business, I don't know about everybody else, but I looked back at what we had set last fall, and it was like laughable because it said, like, basically I was like, none of this really mattered. We just survived the year. Check. That was good enough for this year.
Right. That's kind of the way to look at it, right? Like, so now it's December 8th. We are here. We like made it. It's like how many months in? 9 months.
Right.
We've been, you know, dealing with this. Right.
So, I mean, the fact that we're still here and we're still in business and, you know, we're all still alive and well, like that is success in itself. And so, you know, the metrics have been adjusted a little bit, but it makes me excited for the new year to sit back and think about like, what should be on that list for this coming year?
Well, I know one thing that is on my list immediately is to make sure this guy learns how to navigate the roads safely. That's Teak with his temps. He's super excited. It's hard to tell behind the mask. He was like literally counting down the days. I think for the last 2 years, I would get like updates, you know, like, Mom, it's only 16 months until I get my temps. But so I'm super excited for him. And it's an interesting rite of passage. Like as they slipped that piece of paper across the desk to him at the DMV, I had like this moment, right? Like he's now like in a whole new phase of life. He has permission to drive a vehicle. It's
Right.
really like, wow. And it's also terrifying. Like he's good, he's responsible, he's smart, he knows the rules, but it's still like, you know, the first time somebody's out there and they're kind of wiggly on the wheel and you're like, dude, that line, don't cross it. Dude, there's a car right there, you know?
Who in your house will be the accompanying parent? Like, I know at my house, my dad never took me driving. It was always my mom. So at your house, how do you like, is one of you more patient or more understanding than the other when it comes to driving?
I mean, I think I'll probably drive with him every day. I love driving. I remember I loved learning how to drive myself. My dad did that with me. So I'll do it as often as I can. I think my dad will probably spend a lot of time with him. My dad was a professional truck driver. You know, he's really sharp, knows all the rules, all of that. So hopefully he'll spend some time with him too.
Sure.
And then I'm sure Jason's going to hop in the car with him too from time to time.
Right. So Jason's on the bottom of the totem pole is what I heard.
Well, I think he scared himself. So on day 2 of Teak having his temps, he took him out night driving. I was like, oh, no. This is like a video game. That's like, like level 5. We're just starting level 1. And so, it was night and he did like a left turn on a busy road. And I don't think he was in his lane. So, I think Jason came home, changed his shorts and said, okay.
I love it. How exciting. One of the things that Tina and I talked about a little bit before is when I was learning how to drive, my mom always took us to Evergreen Cemetery. And one of the reasons is, first of all, you can't drive very fast in a cemetery because there is a lot of turns and there's narrow roads. And then the other thing is just like, it's a good place to practice like the turning and, the angles, or like, I'm going to pull in here and back in here and then pull out here. And do you like that Y angle, that Y turn on the screen? So I just wish you well. This is like a stage of parenting. Oh, there we go. Patty, you were like typing as I was saying that. Yeah. So you just like, this is such an exciting thing for you, I feel like, and probably a new freedom for Teak too.
Thanks. Yeah, I think so. And it's interesting too, though, because, we'll drive for maybe 20 minutes and he'll be like, okay, I'm exhausted. We've got to go home. So, and it reminds me of like when you are learning something new, or like when you're first experiencing something, maybe it's a new job. I remember like starting new jobs and then coming home at the end of each day, just being like worn out because your brain is constantly thinking. Or like when I lived in Japan for like the first month, every day I would come home and I would just be shattered because you have to be paying attention to like everything, every new road, every new word, every new person. So it's interesting to see how like worn out it makes him.
Sure. Well, that is really, really cool. I'm happy for you guys. Obviously that again speaks to his success as a young man, that he has gotten that far. And so good. Lots of good luck teaching him how to drive these wild roads of the city of Manitowoc.
And until then, be safe, everyone.
Yes.
Watch out defensively.
Watch out for that red car that was pictured in the photo.
Yeah, right. If you see this coming down the road, just extra caution, please.
Can I just comment really, Teak? I love his outfit that his Tempson for that day. So I spot shorts, which is what my husband is still doing right now, because it's still above 40 some days. So you got to rock the shorts, but he's got his tuxedo shirt, snow mask, and is that an abominable snowman?
Yeah, it's the Wampa from Star Wars.
There you go.
He's like a polar bear. He is always warm. And he'll wear those shorts all winter.
I mean, I'm surprised he has a jacket on, because the people that I know that are like committed shorts wearers, they're usually like a hooded sweatshirt all winter long kind of people. They are not, no jacket would ever be allowed in that scenario.
Yeah, it's funny like that. Hey, did Santa come through your neighborhood the other day, or not yet?
Not yet. Well, so we're in the town of Manitowoc, like you guys are. So we're not technically on Santa's route, but December 22nd, Santa is flying by my mom and dad's. And so we are looking forward to, we're going to tailgate. We're going to Santa tailgate at their house and have dinner, and then be outside for his drive-by.
Very nice. Yeah, so he drove through my mom's neighborhood this past week and we went there and it was so fun because yeah, people were gathered at the corner. All the little kids were so excited. I
Mhm.
think my mom was probably just as excited as the littlest kids that were there. So it was cool that that excitement went through the entire age spectrum. It was very fun.
Right. I saw one. So there's been pretty fabulous comments online about this. Again, I'm really thankful that they were able to kind of pull this off and get Santa to cruise through the city. One of them, so Santa got delayed last week a little bit, and somebody on Facebook commented that like the kids were cheering Santa, Santa, like up and down their block, and there was just this excitement and this fun of anticipating him coming down the road. So I love that even in the moments where Santa wasn't quite where he was when he was supposed to be there, they were still excited and had really good energy about that. So that's pretty cool.
And you know what's unique is, so he's led by a police car and then followed up by a fire truck.
Mhm.
And so as we're all like waiting outside, all of a sudden a block over, you see the blue lights and the red lights like bouncing off the buildings and going between the buildings and the house. You're like, oh my God, he's coming, and it's like, so it's just such an interesting experience because you get this sort of heads up before you ever even see him.
Yeah, I'm very excited for it. The kids are looking forward to it. Doug actually had a like panic moment last week. All of a sudden he was like, when does Santa come? When does like we had missed it or something? And I'm like, no, we're not until the last Wednesday. So
That's awesome. And in case you don't know what we're talking about, Santa is driving through the streets of the city of Manitowoc each Wednesday up until Christmas. To find out when he might be cruising through your neighborhood, go to manitowoc.org/Manti Santa. It's based on your street sweeping date.
yeah.
And then one last thing, Kristin, before we sign off, there is a virtual job fair coming up specifically for the manufacturing sector. Anybody that is in the job market, it's free to attend. Pre-registration is required, but it is December 15th. So that's next Tuesday at 3:30. It's all going to take place on the Zoom platform. There are some large manufacturers from throughout Manitowoc County that will be there. Attendees have the option to just self-select and bounce in between all the different breakout rooms so that they can have like personal connection and ask questions. What's the job like? What are the wages? What are the benefits? I know that one of the manufacturers that will be there is Wisconsin Aluminum Foundry, and they recently said that they're hiring for 25 different positions. And those positions start at $19+ an hour with full benefits, vacation, all of that. So there are some really good opportunities in case somebody is in the market for that.
Yeah, I'm excited to see this again. Just a great example of creativity in the face of like, we can't quite get together, but we can find a way to do this. And so, yeah, good luck. If you need a job, there's a ton of opportunity in our community, without a doubt. There's great opportunities. So get out there.
Awesome. Kristin, once again, this has been such an enjoyable and awesome way to start Tuesday. I really enjoy our conversations. So thankful to all of you viewers that are with us, to those who have commented. Thank you for participating in the conversation. This has been awesome, and we will look forward to seeing you next time. Kristin, anything you want to say before I sign us out?
No, just we love you guys. Have a great week, everybody.
Yeah, happy holidays, guys.